What time did you guys have to leave to get here?
It took a while.
It is a
Yeah, it's a track.
It's a journey.
All right, everyone, happy to have head coach Kelvin Sampson, and on your left, senior guard and Houston's new career three-point leader, Emanuel Sharp. If you have a question, raise your hand and I'll get to you here. We got a microphone, let me get a microphone to you for the video, okay? Is that ready? Go ahead, Chris.
Kelvin, for Emmanuel to sort of, seize the moment when you guys looked like you needed someone to get you going in the first half, and what did that mean? And then what does it mean for you to see him break Marcus's record?
Well, you're always going to need somebody. Probably Emmanuel's kind of been scuffling, I guess. I don't know. What are you shooting from the three? I don't really look at these stats very much.
Not as good as I should be.
Yeah. But he always plays great defense. Nobody keeps track of the most stops or the fewest points the guy guarding you has. He's always been great in those areas. That's why this is your 5th year. Have we won for 30 games every year you've been here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, his teams win 30 games every year. It's not because of his threes. It's because of his toughness and his defense and the fact that he can shoot is why we recruited him. But his heart and his attitude, it brings that out. So I didn't know. I don't do the social thing or pay attention to records. Nobody really mentioned it to me. Kellen mentioned it to me on the bench that manager, I think he told me you broke it. So again, what was it? He needed 7 to tie? Yeah, I had no idea. Literally, I hadn't heard anybody say anything. I guess I should have known, but it wouldn't have mattered to me. If he hadn't got it tonight, he would have got it the next game, if not the next game, the next game. And if he wasn't shooting, who's not to say the other guy wouldn't have made it. So, Emmanuel's a senior. He's every team he's played on has won a conference championship, whether it's the American or Big 12. He's played in Final Fours, Elite Eights, Sweet 16s. All he's done is win. He's made this program better. When he was a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, it's his 5th year. He redshirted his first year. He comes from good stock. His father was his high school coach. He has a tremendous mom and dad. Isaiah has 2 passports. He has 3 passports, actually. His mom was a Canadian athlete of the decade, so he has a Canadian passport. And he has an Israeli passport. He was on the Israeli junior team. So Emmanuel's been around. He's seen a lot of winning. He's been a huge part of why this program's been successful. He's the best defender on our team, and he's a tough kid.
Emanuel, can you talk about the pride that you take on the defensive end, particularly your on-ball defense, not just but you and your teammates, the pride that you guys have defending on ball?
Yeah, it's mainly, what our coaches have preached to us since we got here. They give us the formula for winning, and, it starts on the defensive end. So, our offense isn't always going to be there, but, we can take our defense wherever. All that is just our attitude and our effort. Offense is, a night-by-night thing. So they've just hammered that into us since we got here. We work on that every day. Our defense is most of what we do. So, we take a lot of pride in it, our team defense and individual defense. We take pride in it.
Emanuel, for those who may not know your story, when you look at the record, given where you started when you got to campus and coming off that devastating leg injury, do you appreciate it more just to see how your career as a team has planned out, and then also when you can get an individual record like this?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot of hours spent rehabbing, coming back from injury, getting back up to speed, and then, having the great teammates that I've had over the years to keep me in a great mood every day, ready to come to practice. That's what it's about. The family that I've had here since I've been here is what makes it fun. Coming every day, getting our work in, winning. That's why you come here. You come here to get coached by the best coaching staff in the country and have great teammates and create bonds. And yeah, they've helped me so much along the way.
Coach, Alex Jensen has sung yours and your program's praise since he was hired back in March. He's talked about your program being sort of the model for success that they're trying to emulate. When you think of your program, what are the qualities, what are the pillars that you've tried to build your program with?
Well, I didn't know that, but I don't really know Alex that well. I met him for first time. I think first time was at our head coaches meetings in the spring, but I've heard nothing but awesome things about him, the kind of person he is. The guy that he played for is one of the greatest coaches ever. Coach Majerus was so good for this game. He was a giant in this game. He came along at a time where he was different, and he allowed other people to think differently. And I know Alex. I've never talked to him about this, but I'm sure that he learned a lot from Rick. It's probably why he got into coaching, was because of Rick. And then being in the NBA, I'm sure he's opened his eyes up to a lot of things. There's so many great coaches in the NBA. But I think the thing that young coaches is they have to find how they want to win the game. Which end of the floor is more important. Recruit guys that can help you in the ways you want help. My first year at Houston, we were 13 and 19. I thought we'd have a quick turnaround, though. Houston had been so bad for so long, but they had been really good too. Coach Skyvie Lewis, just like Rick Majerus here. I know Jerry Pym did a great job while he was here. So Utah has great basketball DNA. They've had a lot of success here. Houston had really good basketball DNA. With Coach Lewis and he had some great teams. And then through no fault of anybody's, when the Big 12 decided, the Big 8 expanded to the Big 12, Houston got caught like a lot of teams and didn't have really an attachment. It wasn't anybody's fault, just the way it went. But Utah can turn around quickly. There's a lot of tradition here, and I think Alex is the right guy. He's a Ute. I know he's come from the NBA, but that bit of Ute matters. That's important to him, and these kids will, as he builds this program, I think he's going to do a great job. And I've watched him. When we were 13 and 19, we played hard. We really tried, and we ended that year with 4 straight wins. I think we won our last 3. Then Joseph probably knows better than me. I think we lost won our last 3. Then we won our first American Athletic Conference tournament. Then we lost the last game. So we won 4 straight. Then we lost the last one. That was it. But we just kept doing the things that I knew would culture-wise would get us there eventually. And that was to recruit good kids, build a good program, and win with effort and attitude. Attitude and effort is important, man. Talent's great. There's a lot of really, really talented teams that never make the tournament. That's why One of my Matt, my video guy, said we're the only second school to win both games on this road trip. Texas Tech had done it right. I can see why. I mean, we left Friday. I don't remember what time, it's so long ago. Friday seems like a long time ago. We left Friday to fly to Provo. So played there Saturday night. Then we sat around the hotel all day Sunday, all day Monday, and all day today. Yeah, this is a tough swing. But I was proud of our guys' way they handled it. And I knew that Alex, I watched the Kansas game, you know, come out, I think it was 38-30 at halftime, and then it was 38-38. But that's what Alex is pushing right now. You know, he doesn't have the team he's going to have eventually, but he's building character, he's building culture, he's building a program. And you're not going to win in this league. You're not going to come in here and have great success your first year. And again, we went 13-19. And that was about as good as we could do. Next year, next couple of years, we just got better and better and better. And eventually, if you do it the right way, and if you do it brick by brick, and you do it with good kids and get good enough players, you're going to have a good program.
Time for one more question, Joseph.
Kelvin, if I could go back to you mentioned the defense earlier with Emanuel, but as a team, Brown and McHenry, I think, only had 17 points. Can you just about what your team did there defensively and being able to limit those two?
Brown, this is his first name, Terrence. Terrence came up to me in the handshake line, and I tapped him on his chest, and I told him to keep fighting, you know, and that's important for those kids to keep fighting. He said, man, y'all can guard. I said, y'all can, but the guy guarding you really can, Emanuel. You know, last year we had the Big 12. 2 years ago we had the Naismith National Defensive Player of the Year in Jamal Shedd, who's the backup point guard for Toronto right now. And last year we had the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year in JoJo. And I think Emanuel's the best defensive guard that we've seen. I don't like saying in the nation because I haven't seen everybody, so that's not a fair statement. But he's the best defensive guard. He's the best on-ball defensive guard at the wing that I've coached. Now, Jamal was a different animal at the point of attack. But on the wing, I haven't had one better than Emanuel.
Coach Emanuel, thank you for your time.
Okay. Thanks, guys.